My name is Damali Ssali and I welcome you to this episode of the Ideation Corner. The Ideation Corner is a space where ideas are discussed and dissected. And today I host David Masanso, who is the founder of Crossroads Multimedia Productions, and he's going to tell us all about it. David, you're very welcome.
Thank you, Damali Ssali. I'm David Masanso. I'm the founder of Crossroads Digital Multimedia. Crossroads is an animation studio here in Uganda. We have been in operation for the last 12, we are marking our 12th year this year. We are a team of around 60 animators.
60?
60, 160.
Wow. That's a lot.
Really, a lot. And yeah, the team has been growing. Myself as David, I studied animation. I did my first degree in multimedia in Buckinghamshire University in UK, and I did a degree in animation in Swans University, also that's UK. And I worked in animation studios for a good 6-7 years before I came back to Uganda to start Crossroads. So Crossroads, where we are solving the lack of African local content. Yes. Which also have been associated with the lack of skills. Yeah. So this is our service.
So you're trying to tackle the two biggest problems?
The two biggest problems.
Okay. Yes. So are you in production?
We're in production. Crossroads for the last 12 years, we have been doing a lot of projects. We have worked with SAID, World Health. In 2017, we started. So in 2017, the idea was how do we scale the animation business? So we worked on a prototype for a children TV series. It's a local children TV series.
What is it called?
It's called Mukago series. So we worked on the prototype, and after working on the prototype, we had to go into looking for investors. So we pitched the product allowance. So by 2020, we got a seed. Nice. For the production, but so the seed also was for scaling. So, and also in 2019, that was 2019 we got the first seed, and 2020 we got the second seed as an organization. But before the seed also we had a help. For example, 2018, Disney sponsored 2 girls from Crossroads, which went for the training. It was part of the scaling. And 2019 also we had another sponsorship. So we have been helped by partnership with development partners and studios where it's to work.
That's helpful. So you mentioned this series. Is it already in production? Are we going to see it on available? And how are you going to avail it? Are you going to sell it to a TV station, or are you going to provide it online?
Yeah, the TV series, the business model behind it was for streaming Yeah.
Like on YouTube or
on
Netflix?
Streaming, like on Netflix. Or even there are so many streaming platforms which are going up in Uganda.
I know the one I'm thinking of is Netflix.
Yes. But that's when we are pitching to investors, because they had to know how we're going to make money, the revenue. That was the aim. But also, at the start, before the streaming it on platform, we had to get visibility. So last year we screened 3 episodes, which were played on all Vision Group TVs. Okay,
they were here in Uganda. They played them on our TVs.
They were on Bokede, Haban, all the TVs. So the aim for that was the visibility for the screening. When those quiz were screened, when we said screening them, we are noticed by CNN TV network, and they were here last year, and they did a documentary about Crossroads and voice changers in the animation industry. Because when you look at the series, they are not just for local animation TV in Uganda. They cross over the audience. So they're in English? The content is in English? Yes.
And you mentioned that the reason you started Crossroads was to ensure that we can develop African content.
Yes. When I was in Europe, I used to come back to Uganda, and I saw there was a lack of African content. 90% of the children's content is imported, whether entertaining or it's educational.
I see it. All the cartoons.
They're imported, so they are not relating to the African child. And also it had this business, because the corporate world, the organization, they would like to invest in advertising or sensitization, educational content, which relates to the local people. So I saw the problem. So we are solving the problem by producing the content.
And then you also you did mention what okay, apart from Crossroads does production, say like this series, but you also do something else.
Yeah, Crossroads as a company, how we when I said Crossroads as one person, so I had a team from UK. So the aim when I said Crossroads as one person, I said a team from UK. The aim was to build an outsource center in Uganda. Where I used to work, they used to send a lot of work to India and Malaysia. So I came up with this idea. So in 2011, we came to set up the company. I found that there is lack of animation skills. So the only way to manage the lack of animation skills, we created a program for training at Crossroads. So we trained the first team of animators for a good 2 to 3 years, working with the team. So we partnered with university. We are working with interns, Mackay University, Bifa, Mukono. So all these universities were part of the chain. From the training, as our training was growing, also I found that there was this disability, the people who are not hearing, the deaf, whatever, they were not in the industry. So in 2017, we created a program and we trained 4 of them who are working on our pipeline, because as a company also we look at impact, inclusive and diverse. So, and also during the same time, we noticed that as our team was growing, was full of guys. So the co-founder, we sat down, how can we bring in girls in animation? So we created Women in Animation Uganda.
Wow.
Which was picked up different organizations from US and said, oh, this is nice. We can even, that's how Disney sponsored the first 3 girls. So the team started training girls and we started growing. We are doing a lot of free workshop to university, using the girls who are working with to inspire other girls at university. So we were the team for girls at Crossroads around 25, 26. So we are like 50-50 girls working on the production.
Nice, I like that. Because you don't see a lot of women in production, and somehow we think it's only it's a man's world, and it shouldn't be.
Yeah. When you look at the animation is more in tech, and the women in Africa, they think tech is for guys. Yeah, but they have so many opportunities. And when you look at the animation, I worked with a lot of girls in UK in studios. They are more concentrated than men. And by the end of the girls, women consume more tech than men. We do the apps, we do the animation, but we don't consume
the people who are using it.
It's their women and kids.
It's true. So why did you choose animation? Because you could have done production, you could have specialized in any way animation.
Okay, for me, my life has been animation. When I was young, at 14 years, my dad, they brought a videotape long ago because I went to UK in 1999. They bought a videotape and I watched Toy Story. It was the first Pixar film, and I told my mom, I think I can do that. You're talking about animation at that time that you want to do cartoons, and people are talking about engineering and even they've never heard about it. And then my uncle shared that video tape. Yeah, because I'd come from a liberal family. My dad has done horticulture, and I think it was one of the first florists in Uganda. We are exporting roses to US and orchids, which was unique. And they supported me. So I went to UK in 1999. I joined a college, that's Amasham College. I studied, it's be like HS5, S6 in Uganda, I think. Then there I had to, because I'd gone to study animation. Then there I applied. In 2000, I was joining university. I applied for animation. I applied to Buckinghamshire University and Swartz University and Teesside University. Animation is very young in UK and very competitive. Right now people are talking about programming. Yeah, I didn't get an opportunity to join animation degree straight away. I failed. I failed the interview, but I had a pass to join a multimedia of 3 years. So the 3 years at Buckinghamshire, a second time I applied to Swansea and Bournemouth till I failed the interview. And the third time I wrote to Swansea directly. I wrote a personal letter to them. I told them I've been applying to your university for the last 3 years. I don't go through. They wrote back to me and say, because I told them I want to go back to Africa and do this. I just want to do it in Africa. And I was lucky. They just wrote back to me and said, we read your statement, personal statement. You are offered free education to our university. And I was the first.
Are you serious? They gave you free school. I like that you didn't give up.
Yeah, that's the story. I didn't give up because even my family have given me, why are you done your first degree? Why are you struggling with cartoons? Yeah. You can do what you do. Yeah. I didn't give up. When I got that letter, by the way, that I've been offered to study in the university to study animation. That's when I came to feel, oh, I'm on Crossroads. That's why we are called Crossroads.
That's why the name.
Yes.
So what would you say over the last, you said Crossroads has been in the industry for 12 years now.
Yes.
What are the changes that you've seen in, say, the animation industry space in Uganda?
The changes are vague because 10 years ago when I came back to Uganda, when you were talking about, I remember when I told my family, I'm coming back to Uganda to do this. I said, have you got a job yet in Uganda? No.
They're like, get another job and then you do this on the side.
It won't work. I said, no, it will work. Because, so it's easier to make money in animation because animation is booming in Europe and America. The money is too much. I said, no, I think it will boom in Africa. Yeah, starting up in Uganda, I think for me, it was an opportunity. I saw that if no one is doing it, I have to grow with it. And I had a support. The beauty of the universities where I studied, like in Swansea, that they supported me. I told them what I was going to do. They told me I was their first black student, not African. Even this year, they celebrate 200 years. They wrote about me. I was supposed to go as their first black student as a university marketing years. So I knew that I was coming back to Uganda when I joined the animation studio. There's learning a skill, but also I had to understand. I have the animation skill, but I have to get into the business side, skills.
Yeah, because you have to make money out of it.
Yes, so I joined clubs, the University Club. There are so many clubs in Europe. I traveled to America to see Convo. They have these YCOM things. You join, go out, see how people pitch, how you design your business model, all that stuff. Then later coming back to Uganda. So the changes has been that, business is funny that always the business model will change based on the situation. The idea I had changed. That's how training came in.
Yeah.
So I had to build so real, I have to go around organization because I found that I was not here just to do business. I was here to sensitize, to create awareness to the government, the future of animation. I saw it in Malaysia, I saw it in India when it comes to outsourcing, and how youth can get these animation skills and compete on the global market.
Yes.
To Crossroads, have done a lot of work from US. That's why some people don't know much about.
They can do it from here.
We are doing a lot of outsourced work.
Yeah.
It's cheaper.
Okay.
Yes, really, because a project in US which is cost $100,000 for us is $30,000, which is cheaper for them. That's how Malaysia and India have been growing. But yeah, it has been rotating. But I think being one of the first pioneer in animation, I can say even in Africa, for me it was an opportunity. Like British Council knows what I was doing, they give you support. And also the government, because Crossroads have done a lot of short films. We have won over 8 awards, which are us. But the business model has been changing based on the environment.
I guess.
COVID came, available. No one knew that COVID is going to come.
Yes, how did that impact you?
Right, for us, I think when it comes to COVID, we are lucky.
Yeah.
We had just got a seed. We had the money to run like for 3 years, and then COVID came around and we just got like money 2 months before, and we had set the pipeline.
Yeah.
And
you could work from home. You can work from anywhere.
And the people give us money at that time in Europe. Like we got that money from France, and the AFD in Uganda was our security. So they saw that COVID was coming around, so they alerted us. We trained our team out to work from home. And we worked from home throughout.
Yeah.
For us, we look at COVID as an industrial revolution. It was not a pandemic, what people say.
Yeah.
Because we got more projects.
During that time.
That's the time, because all these, everything was going for content.
Yes, and I do remember even when they were talking about the health bits, they were using cartoons. To convey the message that COVID is contagious, wear masks. I saw a lot of cartoons actually as a message of.
And we were doing a lot of work from here. At that time, I had come from Burkina Faso because I came back after 2 months. Then 3 months I had the COVID thing. Yeah, but for us it's quite so more opportunity. And after COVID, that's how
you continued.
We continued. We contacted with McCain. McCain University contacted us. So. And we did outsource. So Crossroads as a company, we wrote the animation trainings, the multimedia and animation work. We also were writing the courses, We signed a 5-year contract with Mackay University. I think we were one of the first company which were within the university. And we are training, we are managing the training, and our business model is a revenue share with the university for the next 5 years, which is making us to grow. And we are lucky. Crossroads, we have managed to secure land. I think by March we are starting to build our own animation studio.
Okay. This partnership, say with Makerere University, it's a business partnership, Makerere University. You develop the content and then the modules and whatever training materials, and then you also deliver the training to the Makerere students.
We have the animators. Our animators are teaching in Makerere. So Makerere like outsourcers. For us, we have the whole pipeline. Yes. So the partnership with because after COVID, I think these universities are trying to change. You see, the education system now is changing.
They have to.
So I think the university noticed that, and they tapped on us. And also, that's the time when CNN came in and did a documentary about Crossroads. And also Mackay was involved in the documentary with our partnership. But also, it was a good opportunity because now Pixar, because we have a partnership with Statue, which involves Pixar. Pixar is under Disney. So they have offered.
They do a lot of cartoons.
Sorry?
They do a lot of cartoons.
They do a lot of cartoons. It's one of the biggest animation studios in the world. So they have offered us software, which is a partnership between Crossroads and Pixar and University. So it's part of explaining. But also we have a contract now with the Ministry of ICT, which involves skilling and training youth at the National ICT Innovation Hub. Even the first training is starting next week. The government that if you cannot afford to go to Makerere, they have brought everything down so you can join the training. And the bit of our training which we involved with the courses at Makerere and also the list of the ICT at the National Hub, they are project-based training. That from day one you are taught how to make a cartoon. So you will finish with a portfolio. Because one of the problems you are facing in Africa, I had an opportunity to travel to several countries. I've been in Kenya several times. I was on their film commission as a judge on animation for 2 years in Kenya. I've been on the Discope in South Africa on their team was of 2 to 3 years. Or the Durban Film Festival is one of the biggest film festivals. I'm on the team every year for judging, for animation, and also, like, for me, if I did not come back to Africa, all these opportunities I'm getting there,
they wouldn't be there.
I've been on the team for Netflix when they had under UNESCO, when they selected the films from Africa. I think we have one guy called Lukman who was selected. Yes,
he was
I was one of
the
judges
to the Ideation
to select films that were going for study. So I think for me, it gave me an opportunity.
So going back to the Ministry of ICT, you're saying that you partnered with the Ministry of ICT, and now you're offering training. If I am a young person and I wanted to now get into this space and I wanted to access this training, how do I access it?
Yes. For the Mackay University first, you go to the ICT building, the ICT department. Then you apply. These courses are, as long as you have an S4 certificate, S6, they are certificates. We first wrote the advanced certificates. Because what we are trying to build, that people to get into animation, you have to build the skill. It's not about the degree. A degree will help in future when you're going for further education. But with lack of skills, and if you're going to compete on the global market, you have to build the skills. So I can apply.
Say, I don't even need to be a Makerere student to apply for this particular course.
You just need to have passion and interest. That's your qualification. You don't need to be with a Makerere student. You can come from anywhere, as long as you are above 18, I think.
So I walk into this ICT.
The ICT, there is a front office, there are administrators, and you applying. The general intake is on.
It's going on right now?
Going right now. Because I think if it's 6 vacancies, you have a lot of time at home.
They have 8 months, they're here until August.
Yes, then even look at even graduates, because whether you have done business, whether you have done what,
anyone can do.
Because you're going to compete in the world, you need the skills. And people look at animation as a cartoon, but it's bigger than a cartoon.
So once, how much is the cost? Do I have to pay for? If I apply at what's the cost like?
At Makerere University, when you go there, they will give you all the details. But this has been made very cheap. It's like the full course at Makerere University, the animation course is 3 stages. There's the first stage which is 2 months, which is around 500. Then the second stage is another 500. Then the third stage is around 600 at Makerere University.
That's the Makerere University course.
At the Ministry of ICT, the National ICT Innovation Hub is based in Nakawa. It's a huge space. I think let's just build it. It has everything. It's not just for animators. I think it's also for creative. There are so many other hubs. There's Motive and what. But also the government built that, I think, to bring in more people for that space. So for the for example, the course which are starting next week, the students are paying 180 because the government covers also. Yes.
This is the Makerere one or the ICT one?
The ICT one. Yeah. That one is a 7-month training. Yes.
For 180.
Which and also they are given opportunity to pay installment because we talk to them and say let them pay like 3 installments. So anyone can afford for the training. That's what it is.
So and that one also I just walk in.
You just walk in, but that one is closed.
It's not closed. Oh no.
Yes.
So the Makerere one that is still open.
It's still open. Yeah, they have. You see, what's so funny that
competitive.
The youth are hungry for skills.
They are.
They opened it before Christmas, and 180 applied, and they have to close it. Then
they can't take any more people.
Yes, because
Can they do it in like cohorts? Like you can do the first cohort is.
And that's how you see where it was like a pilot, and then you see like people are coming in for us. We need now to plan, so we are going to start to do it like that.
That's I guess helpful. And then because you did talk about content, and as you and I look at the content space, say in Uganda or even the African continent, that we need to start producing our own stuff that we consume, but then also we need to start producing our own stuff in our languages. So are we at least in the training or at least in the space, are we thinking of producing content in Luganda, Lusoga, Luswahili, like those? Or are we still training mostly people to do content in English?
Crossroads, we have been doing content. We did a series which was on BBS. It was total Luganda. So now we're developing our child education content. We're looking at platforms. Really, our focus has been content. The training is also to build our teams and also to the opportunity, because the animation industry. It's about people. You need a lot of people, and it's a combination of different skills. We have children who are doing voice acting as young as 8 at our studios on the TV series. We have writers, we have animators. The future, I think the future for Africa is going to be driven data processing and content production. Because when you talk about animation, for us, we're doing projects, like, for example, training programs with the Ministry of ICT and URSB, whereby the cartoon is training how to use the systems.
Yes.
So that's another thing which also going to do in English, and we're already producing them. Animation controls the gaming. Closely we are moving into gaming, local games, where guys are going to do straight on their mobile phones. Yes.
Can you play Omweso
on the mobile phone? Because the beauty of it, because the children TV series we are working on, Mukago. The name Mukago is like Luganda, but we did research. It's in Zambia, in where they call it friendship. It's not.
It's a Bantu word.
Yes, I think it's a Bantu word. But the series is based on local games. The different
indigenous local games.
And it is the difference that there's interview, like we have added there, like STEM. Where like we look at one of the episodes, these kids go to play and they get lost, they have to get back to home, then they use their classwork where they have to build a campus and play around the campus, and so that they can get back home.
So they also education.
So it's all about solving problems, but it's going to be also in local language.
In local languages. I think that's fantastic. So you're a company, you've been here 12 years.
Yes.
And a lot of businesses in Uganda die after 2 years. What kind of critical lessons would you tell someone who who wants to be that, survive that long?
But that's very interesting, because even the courses we are training, we are teaching people animation, like at Makerere, part of the course unit is a business skill. Because I think Africa, we're talking about skills, but the problem is not going to be the skills. It's the business, the skills.
Part of it.
Yes, people have skills.
I know a lot of people have skills.
Yes, we are making money in cartoons, but there's someone who can make money, something. So So how have we survived for the last 12 years? One thing, I told you my story. I've had a passion and interest in animation. But I think I've failed more than my success. You know, all those people see your success. I remember, it's so interesting, when we were screening last year on CNN for the Voice Changers, so if you check it online, Voice Changers Africa, you find that we got more calls from America. We are African American. Even we are going to work with a team from African American. We are so inspired by the African stories, the TV set we are doing. Because this is our culture, this side. But
it gives them an identity.
But ours, one of the things what we mastered was teamwork. Teamwork is not doing only the project, but we mastered the collaboration. To build the business, to survive.
Actually, yeah, you've been mentioning a lot of people you've been working with. That's interesting.
Yes, the mastered the collaboration is building the business. And also, there have been ups and downs. We had our failures, but we always change our business model. As long as we focus on the vision. Because our vision is to tell African stories.
Yes. Vision doesn't change, but the model can change.
But with sustainability, we have to sustain what we are telling.
Of course. Yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, I think it says we have all the things that have been changing. The business has been changed. We have ups and downs. But we have managed. I think always you fail, but persistence. The passion and focus on what you are doing is I think is the key. The business doesn't fail in Uganda because people don't have business skills. Yes. And also as you scale that, all this URA, this NSSF, all this, I know some people, so we try this as we miss out. Because if you're going to look for investment, capital ventures or angel investors, you have to be able that you pay your URA in time, you do your this, because they need a certificate from your other stuff. I think it's more in Uganda is to invest more in business skills. Secondly, also, I was exposed. I worked in UK. I lived in UK. I studied how do you look for grants. Got a lot of grants. Accessibility also doesn't matter. There's that lack of exposure in Africa. But the YouTube, I learned more business on YouTube. On YouTube
then.
Yes, because when you're getting on a plane and going to pitch for 10 minutes in France, you meet these investors. They have no interest in a cartoon, but they have their interest. How are you going to make the money?
Yes, of course.
We are giving $200,000. You want it in the next 2 years?
I want my money back.
How?
David,
I learned from YouTube.
We're running out of time.
Okay.
What is the last word that you like to tell our viewers?
I think it's just anything can work. It's not just animation. Yesterday I was talking to the youth, asked me, it's as long as you have a passion in whatever you're doing, even if you're riding a boda, you just have to have a passion to ride it. Because I've seen a boda guy who have a house and someone works in a bank, doesn't have a house, so it's about passion and interest.
Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, there you had it. You should check out Crossroads Multimedia. And if you're a young person, brand Makerere University and apply for this training that's ongoing. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right.